off. I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It's 9:02 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time, Wednesday. What is it? Excuse me. April 14th, 2021. And I have another hand-picked selection of my 23-year-old Christian music from Norway. Enjoy once more. This is actually probably my favorite song from the album. Okay, boomers, you will like this. I love boomers. And Gen X, too. Skip is a Gen X. Skip from Augusta, Georgia. And I hope you enjoy this. I do. This is called Innbydelse. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Norwegians or Samuel the Swede, please correct me. By Extol. Enjoy. It's so awesome. You're going to love this. How can you not like this? And I will remind you that it is Christian music, guys. Christian. How can you not like this? How? So, like, epic. Thank you. Good music, says Subian Not. Stephen Will tried to do a super chat. Yeah, sorry, Stephen Will. Not sure what's going on. More heavy stuff. Heck yeah! Says JB's Corner Store. This is Norwegian language, but it is Christian lyrics. Am I getting drowned out? Gosh darn it, hey! Christ rocks. Yes, that's right, says Geppetto. Thank you. So you can hear that it's like a hymn. Very nice, says Odin Sire. So guys, let me show you the lyrics to prove that this is indeed Christian music. Innbydelse. Is it too loud for me? Is it drowning me out? It's so good though. It's so good. Okay guys, let me show you the translation. Innbydelse means invitation. And no, it's not a witch's invitation. It means, it's Norwegian, detective. I Googled it. It's Jesus' invitation. Lawnmower sounds better. Lawnmowers sound pretty nice. So let me show you the lyrics, how they start. They start off pretty dark, admittedly. Okay, guys? Because, you know, white people and human beings in general are in a dark place, especially nowadays, right? So let me show you. And it's saying all this stuff in Norwegian, but somebody translated it to English. He's saying, I can never partake in life. Black worms have bound me. The chance to break down. The sorrows that weigh me. I will never get to see. I'll never find. The depths voice lives inside and trickles out onto unscrupulous streets. Black beats, the only pleasure that slipped through my cracked gates. So it's kind of hard to understand because it is Norwegian and they are all poetic. So it goes on. Even more darkness. Leave the hatch open a crack to your innermost chamber. Open up for me. Let me fill every splay. I open the floodgates. Let the water flow in. Water represents life, right? Jesus talked about water. Water interspersed with sprouts grow and stick to my feet. The fog blots out the light. When will it lift? Jesus' invitation. Told you. Skip. Thinking this is not Christian. Listen to this. This is like the voice of Jesus. Jesus' invitation can be the solution to this. Of course, this is all translated from Norwegian, and I'm taking their word for it. Remember, it wasn't me that stole the peaceful, shining light in there. See? A perfect surrender lets the Lord's holiness fill up within me, and the Holy Ghost's power renew my soul, my mind. To the Lord, I'm lifted up. It's not devil language, it's Norwegian. I don't think Jesus was a grunter. Well, thank you for bearing with me, those of you who do not like it. Okay, it's kind of catchy, says A. Owens. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I have more for you where that came from, but that is my favorite song on that, especially that first minute of like, dum, dum, dum. Anyway, guys, I will be getting to your calls, 888-775-3773. I'm going to be talking an update on that school shooting I touched on, the Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, blah, blah guy who got himself killed. His own fault, honestly. The attack on Tucker Carlson, if you've heard about that. The ADL is really the DL. Let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. Paul Robertson says Hake needs to listen to some Bach. Bach. Which songs did he do? Or pieces? Because if it's no singing, it's not a song. I used to listen to a little bit of George Friedrich Handel, the Messiah. So guys, I have an update on this Tennessee shooting that I told you about yesterday. You know how they're exploiting every school shooting. This one is a relatively minor incident. Thank God only the perp was killed, purportedly, right? According to the report. This is from the Tennessean. On Monday afternoon, Knoxville's Austin East Magnet High School was the scene of a shooting. One student was killed in a shootout, and a police officer was hurt. I was thinking, maybe it wasn't the suspect. Well, turns out they think it's the suspect, or it is the suspect. Details remain uncertain. About this, authorities confirmed the shooting occurred inside the school building as police confronted the student with a gun. Knoxville police, and they have not identified this student. Don't know whether he's black or white or what. I'm thinking maybe black, and I'll tell you why in a sec. Knoxville police say they received a report of a student with a gun, went to the school about 3:15 Monday, I mean. That's like after school is out usually, right? Officers located the suspect in a restroom, ordered him to leave, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and preliminary report. They entered the restroom when he refused to comply. Wow, very brave. When the suspect fired at police, he had to already fire at them before they were able to shoot. An officer returned fire. The student was pronounced dead at the scene. Well, that's what you get. The student has not been identified. Tuesday morning, Knoxville police identified the officer as Adam Wilson. And I have the guy's photo. He is a white man, gray-haired white man. Seems healthy. A little overweight, but 20-year veteran of the Knoxville Police Department. He was injured. Maybe he was shot, I don't know. Wilson is recovering after surgery Monday night. Police Chief Eve Thomas, a woman? What? Said he was in serious condition after the shooting. What a shame. The school was placed on lockdown Monday afternoon. Scene was cleared. They designated a site on the school grounds for parents to reunite with their students. Why are they there so late? 3:15? Most people are like, seems like most people would be gone home by then, at least at the school that I went to. Austin East will be closed Tuesday and today, or were closed Tuesday and today. Students will not learn virtually or in person. Superintendent Bob Thomas said counselor is available for students. So that's the update on that. I was curious. I was just curious. So this Brooklyn Center, Minnesota shooting, though, where the cop thought that it was a taser that she was about to taser the guy with, and then she shot him instead. Some of you guys are leery, at least Art from Ohio is. I think you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Am I right? In the heat of the moment, maybe she got tunnel vision. Somebody said, they have like these bright yellow tasers. How could you confuse it? Well, I don't know. Absent-minded, I guess. And a woman generally does not handle pressure as well as a man, right? And even males have mistakenly shot people. Oops. Officer Kim Potter shot and killed blah blah, the 20-year-old. I'm calling him blah blah. And then I will be getting to your calls, guys. Hang tight. During a traffic stop, but this is from the Skim, far left female outlet. It wasn't during the traffic stop. It's after the traffic stop, and they're arresting the guy because he had a warrant. His death was ruled a homicide. Duh! I already covered that. But the police said it appeared to be an accident. She tried to fire her taser instead of her gun. Taser, taser, taser. Oh, boop. I shot him. Oh, do you have a picture of this lady who shot him too? Kimberly Potter. She's like this pretty lady. Poor lady. The community is calling for justice. And I'm putting that in air quotes. Thank you, Jeanette. Because they don't know or care what actual justice is, right? Potter was a 26-year police veteran. Which means what? At what age did she start? She's still a pretty lady. Anyway, she'd served as the local police union president. Interesting. A woman police union president. And was reportedly training a new hire at the time of this incident. She was among the first officers to respond to a deadly police shooting in 2019, advising two officers to turn off their body cams after a 21-year-old mentally ill male was killed. Sounds like good advice, actually, because anything you say can and will be used against you, you know? Even for a cop, if they're still recording the body cam after the incident, there's no need for that. Because they could say things that get misinterpreted and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like, oh, there she is. She seems nice. She was forced to resign. I mean, she resigned immediately. But wouldn't want to get shot by her, but then again, I'm a very compliant. Too compliant. White's got the opposite problem. Anyway, yesterday, Potter resigned along with the police chief, neither of which, well, the police chief did nothing wrong, right? Saying it was in everyone's best interest. Note that by resigning, she could still keep her pension. Nice. And work for another police department. I think that's good. Because it was an accident. Although, maybe she should do desk work or something. Brooklyn Center Mike Elliott, the mayor, Mike Elliott, he's a sleazy guy, young, pathetic. Well, he looks young anyway. Wearing a baseball cap all the time, immature, evil black guy. First black mayor, by the way. Said that he hoped the resignations would bring some calm to the community. Yeah, right. That's seen nightly protests following Wright's death. So this guy is one of those appeasers, people pleasers, especially black pleasers. If Jenny Crosby is face-palming me. Face-palming, I guess because I'm calling the woman, being all feeling sorry for the woman. Her eye color is almost black. What's that supposed to mean, sunflower? She is done. SD Rocket Man says that she's not a normal white. Anyway, will there be justice? The far-left female outlet, The Skim, asks. Officers involved in police shootings are rarely held accountable for killing someone. That's because, well, actually they are, because they're usually justified. Duh. In Kenosha, Wisconsin, this is an interesting update. In Kenosha, Wisconsin, where Jacob Blake was resisting arrest, fighting with the officers, taser didn't work. They said, drop the knife, and then blam, 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 blam. Shot several times, 4 bullets hit them. The officer who shot, I shouldn't even be naming the guy, right? I like JLP's new thing. The officer who shot blah, blah, blah over in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Blah, 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 I should call him. 7 times at last August, which is fake news. It was 4. Has returned to work and will not face any discipline, according to the far-left female outlet, The Skim. Isn't that good news? That's good news. I appreciate that. Because he didn't do anything wrong. You got to stop the threat. This guy's not stopping. It's a community in mourning. The shooting came a mere 10 miles from the trial over the porn star unemployed drug addict's death from Memorial Day or so a year ago. Memorial Day, is it called? May? The end of May? It turns out that drug addicts, the one who had the knee on the neck, the drug addict's girlfriend, the white woman, who was also addicted to opioids, she was this guy who got killed, this 20-year-old named Blah Blah from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. I can't just help but say it. George Floyd's girlfriend was this guy's teacher at one point. Small world, huh? The connections speak to the collective trauma the black community in Minnesota is experiencing. A trauma that Blah Blah's parents and aunt spoke to yesterday. Ooh, terrible. Anyway, that's the update on Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. And were they rioting again last night? Probably, right? Hashtag don't say their names. Thank you, Brandon M. I agree with JLP on that. There are no coincidences, says Phil Good. Anyway, I'm just barely interested. I know I like talking with you guys about it, arguing with the blacks about it. Anyway, let me talk with Bryce, a first-time caller in St. Louis, STL, St. Louis, Missouri. Bryce, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to say I love the show, and shout out to Zombie George Floyd in the chat.
Okay.
That's all I had to say.
All right. Appreciate it, Bryce. Good to hear from you. Thank you. I hadn't seen Zombie George Floyd in the chat. Seems a little bit... We should actually call him Zombie Blah Blah. Zombie drug addict. No. I don't know. Let me get to Jason in Massachusetts. Jason, how are you doing?
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm fine. You're coming in kind of rough right now.
Yeah, it should get better.
Okay.
Is that better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't keep you long, but as far as compliance goes, I mean, when you get pulled over by a cop, aren't you usually, nervous and, you usually comply right away? Why can't these people just do that?
Bad training and bad brainwashing. When they get nervous, they start acting out crazy.
I just don't get it.
I know.
I mean, I don't know.
It's a cultural divide.
I don't know how many times you've been pulled over in your life, but I know when I do, I'm always like, oh, shoot. And then I'm like, whatever they say, I just do it. And then if there's a problem, then go after it after the fact instead of getting killed and acting up from the beginning.
That's too logical and manly.
It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It's I don't know when this is going to end, but I mean, these millennials and youth, it's not looking good. But I won't keep you any longer. But
I don't see it ending. I don't really see it ending because look at how they're being rewarded.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nobody's like JLP's message of and all this other, and all these people telling them comply and, JLP's message gets at the root of it. Get over the anger and stop blaming, and they get what they deserve. That used to be such an old, and probably behind closed doors, some of these people are saying it, but they're such deceivers and exploiting the weakness and kissing up of whites and the media and the Democrats and rhinos. Honestly, I don't hear any Republicans standing strong against this stuff.
No, there's none.
Yeah.
It's not looking good in that regard either. It's really bad.
Right.
Nobody's got no testicular fortitude anymore. So it's not looking good. I don't have any kids, but I know if I did, and especially if I had a son, I mean, I'd be teaching him to comply no matter what race he is. And then if something happens and you got it on video, go after it after the fact.
Right.
Instead of
honestly, you don't even
full right away.
You don't even have to be told this stuff because you respect the authority of your father and you respect to a certain amount your mother, maybe to a lesser extent, but you still like obey a little bit. And you respect your teachers and all that. So
right.
Yeah.
No, it's gone. There is no more common sense anymore. It's basically gone. I mean, it's just the media. It's just, man. Every day I wake up, I just can't. It's a new story, and I just go, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
This is crazy, man. So,
yeah, they want to drive the decent people crazy too, because they don't mind if you don't agree. They just want you to be mad too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have cable, so that was the best thing I ever did was cut cable.
Nice.
In 2016, when I just tried to watch some local news and not get anything, and they'd go talk about Trump.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, all right, you guys, I'm not paying this no more. So
right.
I was just like, forget this. So it's been the best decision and saves me about $1,000 a year. So.
And you'll probably save a lot of time if you stay off social media too. For the most part. A lot of time.
The only news I watch is Hake News.
Right on. Appreciate it, Jason.
No problem, man. You have a great day.
All right, you as well.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Have a good day.
Nice. Cool.
All right.
Take care.
See ya.
Shout out to the chat. Lin Yen Chin says, with a colorful chat, and this may have been before my show started or yesterday, without proper use of silent prayer and forgiving mama drama, political correct is the emotionally constipated path that we suffer and die on. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and that's just tension of mama sensitivity, also known as emotional constipation, driven imagination, or overcorrecting. It's a mouthful. But thank you, Lin Yen Chin. There's definitely some truth to that. I lost track of what you were saying at the end. Let me see. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, quote unquote, and that's just tension of mama sensitivity, emotional constipation, driven imagination, or overreacting. Oh yeah, that's true. You guys follow that? I do. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin. Appreciate you, man. I wonder what he sounds like. Like that. Update. Joel never did that. But anyway. Corbra Koi 99 with the Trovo Super Cap. Super Caps are more manly than colorful chats. At least they sound that way, according to Jib Jab. Jib Jab asks, who is blah blah? Depends on who we're referring to. Blah blah is the 20-year-old light-skinned mixed race male with a white mother, right? White mother, who was getting handcuffed, and his driver's side, against the rear driver's side door of his sedan that he was driving, or whoever's sedan that was. I think it was a sedan, 4-door car. And then he broke away and tried to get into there, and then he got himself shot. She's all, taser, taser, taser. Oops, shot him, killed him. That's blah, blah. But there's also a blah, blah, whom I had to say his name just to avoid the confusion. But I'm not a Satanist, okay? I'm not a Black Lives Matter New Agey person. He's the guy who had the knee on the neck. That's the other blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah is the person up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, who was supposedly breaking up a female, bunch of black women fighting. And they called the cops on him or something, or on each other. And the cops showed up. He resisted arrest. A taser didn't work. He went into his driver's side. He had a knife. They said, drop the knife. They shot him a bunch of times, or a few times. And that's blah, blah, blah. His dad is a radical. Hates the Jews, but he's black, and he's all into the black thing. He hates everybody, really. Terrible. Hot Computer Smell with a super chat says, I appreciate your calm demeanor when reading depressing news. Cool. I appreciate that. That is one thing. People say I sound like JLP. That is one thing that I noticed about Jesse Lee Peterson and appreciated about him as a listener on the radio show. I would be come in early in the morning, 6 a.m., into my old job at the cabinetry place, now closed down. And I would listen for the first hour because the guys didn't start until 7 or 7:30. And I would listen to the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show. And you couldn't get him down. And so I did notice that. And I do notice that the anger thing, people who get upset about what's going on, it's just a drag. It's good to know evil. So I think it's kind of actually good news, this stuff. Anyway, Jib Jab is still lost. What's his name? The blah blah. Help me out, James. You know, blah blah. Do you really want me to try to name these people? I'm trying to go along with, anyway. Maybe you're joking, but hopefully I clarified. Do you think I clarified enough? Okay, cool. Man. But thank you, Jib Jab. Appreciate you, man. Faithful supporter. I will get back to calls. I have Richard in North Carolina wanted to talk about the job performance of cops. But I saw a couple of other super caps. I just got to make sure that I gotta catch them all. Over on trovo.live/the Hake Report. Cobra Koi 99, I started to say his super cap, but I got disrupted, I think. Said the nice, strong, with great hair, great personality, Chris, still mad at me. Hope not. So he thinks that the nice, strong, with great hair, great personality, Chris is still mad at him, but he hopes not. Who? And Chris is like, who? Cobra Koi 99.
Oh. What did he say that would make me mad?
We don't remember.
Oh, well,
Cobra Koi 99, are you a man?
Well, if I've forgotten about it, then surely I'm not upset about it.
Yep. He cast it as far as from the east is to the west. That's how God doesn't remember your sins, nor does Chris.
I appreciate the compliments.
Hake, yeah, because he said that you're nice, strong, with great hair, great personality. Yeah. More super chats. Amazing from Dan East. Noise Art Kansas says, Hake sounding like Joel with all this blah, blah, blah. True. Yeah. Joel who? No, I'm kidding. I haven't forgotten yet. I did see him just the other day on the premises. I'm like, whoa. Did you sign in? You have permission to be here. It was so funny, so strange to see him. Like, I already got used to not seeing him at work anymore. Wild. Anyway, I got to get to Richard in North Carolina. Richard, how are you doing?
How are you, buddy?
Fine, thank you. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, good. You know, you remember what happened recently with the woman shooting the guy thinking she was reaching for a taser?
Yes.
Well, the same thing happened, I think, a year ago. She goes, taser, 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 bam, oh, I shot him.
A year ago, she did the same thing?
Another woman.
Or somebody, a different woman. Yeah.
And she got dismissed almost right away.
Yeah.
She was a rookie. She was only 2 years out. That's still a rookie.
Right.
So it just seems like, you know, these women, you know, I don't know if they can handle. I mean, it's stressful enough with the cops being told they're horrible people all the time by everybody. Their
and
leadership, the public.
Not just told they're horrible, but prosecuted. Remember when Freddie Gray, the 6 officers who apprehended Freddie Gray and dealt with him, the drug dealer. Oops, I shouldn't call him. Blah, blah, blah. The drug dealer whom over in Baltimore, Maryland, who ran from cops and broke his back, severed like 80% of his spine.
His own dang fault. It's his own dang fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got DWI stops all the time. You know, at those, and I roll up license registration. I give my license registration. They come back. Can we search your car? I said, no, thank you. And they said, okay, have a good night.
Wow. Oh, so those were checkpoints, not that you were actually driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated.
I don't.
Good.
No, I know better.
Right.
I don't even drink alcoholic beer without and drive because I'm never sure if that might affect me in some way.
Right on. Yeah.
So, but anyhow, what I'm trying to say is, here I am. I've got a simple job at a deli, and I deal with this garbage all the time. And I'm just thinking, this is bad. I just wonder what the cops deal with when they roll up to a guy in a car with a suspended license. You know, and the warning check is sitting there waiting for it to come back. The guy's got to get out of the car. How do you think that officer feels? You know, is he gonna reach for a gun? Is he gonna reach for a knife? Is he gonna jump on me? Is his friend gonna jump out of the back of the car, take my car, take off while his friend kills me?
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say one other thing. I had a guy that was a retired state trooper in North Carolina. He pulled up to a guy in Georgia plates, and they were importing guns a lot illegally out of Macon, Georgia, into North Carolina. And so he goes up and says, license registration. The guy's reaching around the bottom of his car. He says, out of the car now. He pulls his gun.
Yeah.
And he slams on the ground, and he puts him in handcuffs, goes to the back. He reaches underneath and it's a 45.
Wow.
With one neighbor. And at that kind of range, they didn't have vests, they didn't have backup officers. He was on his own. That would have put a hole in his chest.
Yeah, that is wild. You got to be alert.
And I would never met this guy. And I'm scared for these officers. You know, I know there's bad people in every job. I'm dealing with a bad boss right now who's under a lot of stress. So I mean, but can you imagine having to just deal with that kind of level of garbage every day, where people are spitting, cursing, at you, and I mean, those are some brave souls. And now, and I'm tired of people thinking, well, I'm gonna get up today and I'm gonna kill a black man. And that's what they think cops are.
Yeah,
so that's how ignorant some people are.
And they just assume that this or that was. They are the worst conspiracy theorists. When you're angry and predisposed to judging whites and cops and stuff like that, they think that video footage was doctored. They think all kinds of goofy, wild conspiracy theories.
Those body cams can't be altered. They're downloaded right into a central database that can't be unlocked except for anyone, high-ranking officers and DAs.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was going to say one other thing. I saw a video of an officer. A guy was trying to approach him with a knife. Said, "No, don't do it. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this." And the guy wouldn't let up, and he had to shoot him.
Yeah.
And the officer basically broke down. I mean, he said, "I had no choice."
Right.
I had no choice.
I've heard of cases like that.
And I don't think that police officer debated at all. I think he was just traumatized by having to kill another person.
Yeah, if it's your first killing.
I know, and it's sad. I wanted to hug that guy.
There is, I hear that cops are resigning or transferring left and right all over the place. I've reported a little bit on it since the Black Lives Matter riots of last year, especially come summertime. But it is still going on. Police are resigning, retiring early, transferring, whatever they can do. It's a shame. You said your boss is stressed. Would you get fired if you shared with him the silent prayer?
I told him I listened to Jesse Lee Peterson.
And you didn't get fired?
He probably doesn't know who that is. This guy.
You told him you listened to it, or you told him to listen to Jesse?
I know. I said I listened to Jesse Lee Peterson, and when I get when a customer gets upset with me for any reason, I just sit there and I say, I just observe.
Oh, so he's
like a movie.
So you're handling are you handling the customers well then?
Yeah, the boss not so well because he's constantly riding my butt all the time.
You're not handling the boss as well?
No, because they've reduced to two full-time people quit.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
working overtime, and I just got here, and I'm not even being offered a full-time position. I'm working full-time.
Yikes! Has he noticed how you handle the? Has he noticed how you handle the customers, or how did Jesse come up?
Oh! I had a guy that said I made a sub like a Sal was my first sub ever. Making a sub.
Oh, okay.
And someone else stepped in. No, the bigger bosses, the ones above him, noticed how customers treat me like garbage for no reason, and they come up to me and they support me and they say, Richard, you're doing an awesome job.
In North Carolina, people are rude?
Yeah.
What?
Well, these are Yankees.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean,
they don't have a lot of time to waste. Don't take it personally. It's just I don't really necessarily consider like New Yorkers rude. I think that they're just short.
It's the cityers. I was going to say one last thing. I had a woman do that to me because I was putting meat, and she said, well, that's not, well, it's that, and she leaves. And I said, go with Jesus.
Okay.
She's an angry woman. You know that?
Well, don't get sarcastic with them because you don't need unnecessary complaints.
I was serious.
Okay.
My co-manager loved it when I said, go with Jesus.
He liked it? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
he
funny.
loved it. Yeah.
You guys have an interesting relationship with your customers. It's funny.
There's, like I always say, there's all kinds.
True.
You know that?
At a deli, you could run into anybody. Very true.
I tell you that. Well, Hake, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard. Good to hear from you.
Can you get that Tom Like a Hake shirt on the store, or is that?
This is Tom like a mug. Tom like a mug.
Oh, they need to have the Tom Like a Hake.
Because I'm a white Uncle Tom.
Yeah, like.
Richard, how old are you, if you don't mind my asking? I've probably asked you before.
46.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, it's good to hear from you, man. Take care.
You too. Take care.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Let me talk with Dylan in Nashville, Tennessee. He has a tip on a crazy story. Dylan, how are you?
I'm doing well, James. How about yourself?
Doing fine, thank you.
Excellent. So this is something I find so strange. It's national news whenever somebody who puts themselves in a situation and they you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Yes.
Dies.
Yep.
But literally yesterday in Nashville, they were having, and this is just pitiful all the way around, the blacks on that side of town were having a vigil for someone else who had been shot. And, no one speaks to the cops, so they have no idea who did it or who to bring in or anything. A 3-year-old girl was shot in the back and killed, and her 2-year-old sister was shot in the arm. Luckily, she lived. But how is that not national news?
Wow.
Is that not insane?
Oh, cute little kid. I'll give you guys the screenshot of the person, the headline.
I know.
Wow.
It is absolutely pitiful. And then they interview and everybody, oh my gosh, not a word about what can be done or anything. Want to go to, I just don't understand how this happened. We're right down the street from the police station. Well, I'll tell you why, because the cops have their hands tied behind their back.
Yeah.
They're afraid to police your all's neighborhoods because every time they do, they risk losing their entire career over doing what's right and doing their job.
Right.
And these people that want to try to defund the police and all this stuff, what happened the other day with the taser thing, that's going to happen again and again. If you defund the police, you take away from their ability to train people properly. And then you have...
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's so backwards.
It is so awful. It's so awful to put these women in these positions where they have to deal with this. You think Tyrone's going to care whenever...
Whoa. You can't say Tyrone. That's a slur.
Exactly.
No, I'm playing around. Yeah, I gave you. I just put in the screenshot of this 3-year-old shot and killed. One arrested after 3-year-old killed. Others shot in North Nashville. Posted to WKRN News, April 13th.
Yeah.
Wow.
At a vigil for someone else who had been shot.
Wow. Jamila Marlowe shot in the back, and her 2-year-old half-sister, Antania Butler, was shot in the arm. 2 girls were inside of a car that was in a parking lot when the shootout erupted between several individuals. Both girls shot when the car was caught in the crossfire as the driver attempted to drive away. Wow.
Yep, black excellence.
It's wild. Funerals and such.
But hey, one last thing, and also yesterday. So some crazy black guy went into a Kroger yesterday and started stabbing people. And then you come to find out he just got out of prison 2 years ago for stabbing people.
Wow.
It's just like, we need to go back to where people actually respect the police. And not to go too far off topic, but my friends that live in India were telling me that, like, they just don't have this issue over here with carjackings and people stealing and robbing and stuff. Because he told me the punishment, I thought this was insane. So over there for stealing, they will put you on a block of ice with salt on it and sit you on there naked for hours. And
where is this?
With you in India.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he moved over here, and of course, weird, you know, I mean, all the white supremacy and stuff. He owns 3 businesses within 5 years of being here. Weird, right?
Yeah.
But he comes over here, and he's doing super well. But he just tells me they put them on that block of ice, and they whip them on the back of their heels. Like, because apparently it's really sensitive on this one part of your heel, and they just whoop you on that for hours and hours and hours.
Sounds
and they
terrible.
just don't have an issue because there's actual consequence to your action over there. And here you sit in prison with your TV, cable. They get cell phones in there now hanging out. I want them to fill these potholes in Nashville. I want them to be trimming grass on the side of the road and picking up all this trash we got everywhere.
That sounds kind of nice. We don't have really a manly culture anymore where we can do corporal punishment like that. That would be fun, though.
But it's really wild how right Jesse is that the whole issue is the man stepping out of the role.
Yeah.
Because I've been listening to Jesse for years now, but I didn't quite grasp it at first because I was, you know what I mean? I was like, I agree with him on a lot of things. I don't know about that. But then you just look over and over and over again.
Right.
It's overly emotional.
Yeah.
And then these homes where this stuff keeps happening, there's an absence of a man or a weak man.
Right.
we just have to get back to the point where generalities work because they're generally true.
Right.
The exception doesn't make the rules. There has to be a foundation and standard, which is God, which they've tried to take away. But, hey, James, it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and God bless you all. Have a nice week.
Thanks. You too, Dylan. Appreciate you.
Hey,
take care.
Take it easy.
All right. So I have a little bit more pics, I guess, of this girl, at least one more. And suspects who may have been involved. These girls were driven by their mother to Nashville General Hospital, transferred to the Children's Hospital. Jamila died from her gunshot wound. I just dragged them into the folder. Police say 23-year-old Thomas Winston Jr., also known as Thomas Mitchell, drove to the same hospital for treatment of a gunshot wound to his abdomen. Police reported 26-year-old DeAndre Dean was dropped off at another medical center, gunshot wound to his leg. And he arrived in the public housing development in a Hyundai as a large group of people had gathered in a parking lot. He walked between 2 buildings. Shots were then fired in that direction across the parking lot. At least 3 other people shot back. Winston proceeded to get into the Hyundai, dropped a bloody pistol on the pavement and fled the area. As he drove away, one man in the crowd fired multiple shots at the Hyundai. Police have identified 24-year-old Anthony Sharp as the man who fired shots at the Hyundai. I don't know what it is. What do you call it? Hyundai? Some Japanese word.
I just avoid saying the word.
Nice. Anthony Sharp fired the shots. Charged on felony aggravated assault. I have three guys. I don't know who they are, but they're black. And this is inside of the article. And it doesn't appear to be about something else. But anyway, that's that. Just another day, right? It's not news. Ridiculous. Yeah, what a sweet little girl. At least, you don't know what she's like or was like. What a shame. Let me get to Emmannuel. Emmannuel, God with us in Canada. Emmannuel, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm doing well.
Nice. Right on.
I was just wondering, what do you mean? I keep hearing you say 2021, the year of our Lord. What does that mean?
Because the year 2021, every year since zero is the year of our Lord. Anno Domini, AD. AD,
Oh, okay.
You know how we have BC, before Christ, and AD, Anno Domini. And
Yeah.
Anno Domini or Anno Domini, whatever, is translated as the year of our Lord. Because
Okay.
I said it because I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were talking about how the secularists, the satanic people who hate the truth and push anti-Christianity, they try to call it common era. They try to call us common era instead of AD, CE instead of AD. And before Christ, they call it before common era. Because we're so far removed from Christians running things. Now they want to get away, stamp out Christians altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I like the sound of the train in the background where you are, Canada.
Right on.
Reminds me of home.
One more, I'm out in the country here. I'm actually, living on a nice piece of property. It's nice.
Wow, you own it or what?
No, I'm actually just renting a room on an old farmhouse right now, but I'm working towards saving up and hopefully buying my own piece of property at some point.
That's cool.
And, been getting into gardening and agriculture, trying to learn how to grow my own food, and it's been good, man. And yeah, you guys have been like amazing. I listen to you guys almost day in, day out. Both Jesse, your whole crew is just amazing and a blessing. So
cool, man. I've talked with you before. I don't want to embarrass you. What are you? Are you, what are you?
What am I?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm a human being.
We know that. Like, are you Indian or white Canadian or what?
No, man, I'm just Caucasian. I'm
okay.
just white.
Nice.
White.
Right on. Yeah. Did you know that Emmannuel means God with us?
I do know that. Yeah.
Is it spelled with two M's? E-M-M?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
One more quick question. Do you read the Bible?
Yeah. I haven't been reading it a lot. I would like to read it a little more, but I used to read it a lot. So I know a lot of stuff. Okay. And I was memorizing Bible verses and stuff from like even childhood. My mother had us memorize. In fact, that's how she taught us to read, was we would memorize Bible verses. I liked, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Nice and simple.
Yeah, because I've kind of been struggling a little bit with that because I feel like, I guess I don't necessarily identify as a Christian, although I feel like I thrive to be one and, just live in the right way and follow the teachings of Jesus and to do the right thing. But I don't know exactly what it means to... I guess I was raised by a Catholic mother who... She's a bit of a Bible thumper, and in the cultic sort of thing that is the Catholic Church, and that whole scene always kind of threw me off for whatever reason.
When did you get thrown? When did you start to get thrown off by that whole Catholic thing? What part of your life? College, high school,
I was kind of
younger?
like forced. I was kind of forced to go to church as a younger boy, right?
Yeah.
Like, my mom used to say, "Oh, do it for your mother," and all this stuff.
Oh gosh.
And just like, I know. And anyways, my dad kind of actually divorced her because of her extreme religious views.
Yeah.
And
you stayed with her though?
No, man. The thing is, my dad actually tried to keep me away from her.
Oh, okay.
Because he didn't see her as fit to be raising me, and I believe he was 100% on that. But she ended up fighting in court to have custody of me, and
How old were you?
so she ended up winning this split custody. I was like 11 years old or something.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was
Fifth
a
grade,
mess, man.
sixth. Wow.
But yeah, it was a classic scenario, man, that Jesse says, like, she tried to turn me away from my dad, and
Yeah.
you know, your dad's this and that, and
Did she get any? Did she win any custody of you?
Yeah, there was split custody. It was week on, week off for a long period of time.
What a headache. When did you move out?
Well, I went to live on my own. Because I was kind of like, I had enough of living with my mom because it was just not fun. I ended up living with my dad alone for a while, and then things weren't going so well between me and him, and so I kind of got kicked out / left 17 years old.
Nice. That's a good age.
Now. Yeah, man, and then I kind of just went off on my own and kind of got lost in the world. And now I'm like finally coming back around.
At what age are you? How old are you now?
I'm 30 now.
Okay. So have you done what JLP recommends about forgiving your mother?
Absolutely, man.
You talk to your father?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a bit of my dad is actually a kind of left-leaning individual.
Yeah. He's Canadian.
So it's a bit of a struggle sometimes.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah, he is, yeah. So sometimes I feel like...
So was Jesse's dad?
Yeah.
You know that?
I didn't know that, actually. I actually wanted to call Jesse to ask him a bit more about his upbringing, so I'll do that at some point.
Yeah,
but,
definitely do that.
How about you? Like, how's your parents? And
they're pretty conservative, especially my dad. Maybe I've become like more conservative, at least in my mindset than, in my thinking about the world and stuff like that than him. Maybe a little bit. But my siblings are all pretty conservative, my older siblings especially. And so as far as politics go, they like me for the most part. So
right on.
Yeah, politics isn't really a division thing.
Yeah, I can't really talk to my old man about politics without having like a serious disagreement. Like he kind of just pawns me off as being like not informed enough. And
isn't that funny? It's like the opposite.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, they say, "Oh, you're so ignorant."
I try to just keep it simple and do real life practical stuff with them. But I do want to talk with them about that stuff, but it's like it seems to be quite a challenge and not possible a lot of the time. So that's a bit.
Do you do JLP's silent prayer?
I do, man, and it really does make a difference. Every morning, I need to do it more in the evenings. I find I have difficulty doing it in the evenings for whatever reason. Not even difficulty. I got bad habits from the past, right? Like just being on the screen before bed and stuff like that.
So then you're too tired and don't end up doing it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But, every morning I wake up, and the days where I feel like I just basically force myself to do it, and it's great, man. It really does help.
Yeah.
Set the day off in a better direction.
Well, cool, man. Just stay patient. It seems like you're fine. Is your dad a Christian?
Yeah, man, I am. Yeah. No, he's not a Christian. He's spiritual. He says. Right?
Okay. Nice.
So, I mean, yeah.
That makes sense. At least he's not pretending to be a Christian, being liberal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, cool. It's good to hear from you, Emmannuel. Hope to hear from you again. Maybe I'll see you down at the men's conference. Invite your dad if he wants to come down to the men's conference in mid-August, down in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Hopefully things aren't too crazy that you have to be quarantined or whatever. August 14th, I believe.
The situation here is crazy right now, actually.
Yeah. It's
our prime minister is just a full beta.
He really is. He's a male feminist.
Yeah.
You can go to rebuildingtheman.com/events, guys, just so you know. That's how you can get the
sweet,
info.
Man.
Yeah. Or you can just call up our
Awesome.
office, 800-411-BOND, if you need to get any other info. But
Okay.
the website's cool. It's good to hear from you, Emmannuel. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, guys.
All right.
God bless.
You too. Nice.
All right, bye.
Take care. No, Jesse's dad is not Canadian. He was a liberal. He was a liberal. But he's resting in peace now. I hope. Let me just double check the super chats here. By the way, Mike Lindell, before I get back to calls, I'll probably get back to calls in a few minutes here after the beginning of the coming hour. Mike Lindell has started a private investigation into Fox News. Based? That's where he was advertising his MyPillow.com thing, right? Is it MyPillow.com? He was a former crack addict, I think. And he got his life together, became a Christian. And then he always wears a necklace with a cross on it. And he's a staunch supporter of our real President Trump and openly Christian. Right on to him, he's investigating Fox News for not letting him report on election shenanigan allegations. I use the term shenanigan instead of the F word, F-R-A-U-D word. And he also said Costco has stopped selling his MyPillow products. Costco. I've known for a long time that Costco, as well as Sam's Club, both liberals. If you get your deals there, you can get your deals there, but don't be overly supportive of any of these places. Walmart is Sam's Club. Anyway, we are at a couple of minutes till the break, but I want to present to you yet another awesome hymn type of a folk song type of a metal piece by Extol. This is called Jesus, I'm pronouncing it English, right? Jesus come till Jorden for a dough. And I always thought that was Jesus is coming to the River Jordan for a day. But I looked up the translation, and it says Jesus came to earth to die. And it's a beautiful, another song from Extol. Cover your ears, boomers and sensitive Gen Xers, and Zoomers if you're delicate. But my whites, enjoy this music. By Extol, Jesus come till Jordan for a dough. And I will be right back. Okay, guys? Hang tight. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'm getting mixed reviews. Vocals tolerable. Blast beats still lame, says Raven4140. Ah, oh, come on. What did you say to that?
That is a cringe chat. Cringe.
Thank you.
At
least I have some support over here. That's one of my other favorite songs from this Extol album, Burial from 1998. Patrick Bateman says, beautiful music. Hey, thank you, Patrick Bateman. Probably, is Patrick Bateman the American Psycho? Je come till Jorden for a dough, says Norseman. What is it? Norseman what? Norseman Bushcrafting says, come till Jorden for a dough means came to Earth to die. And he did that for us. See, Skip? It's Christian. Hey, do you want people to turn off the show? Says AD. LOL. Fighting for Christ song, says Chrissy. Making my dog bark. My German Shepherd. This sounds like satanic and demonic Christianity rock music. Christianity religion was created by Freemasons, just like Albert Pike's book says OG Lee. Learn something new every day. Real James Beam. I haven't heard of him. Thank you, Turtle No Neck, for the tip. Let's go plunder, says A. Owens. This one is better, says David Flores. This isn't bad. Instrumental stuff with the medieval vibe makes me want to pick up a sword and mount as we charge into battle, says Lin Yen Chin. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me. That was Extol. Viking music, says Red Pill XX. You think the Vikings listened to metal? May well have. Okay, guys, let me bring in, before I talk about Tucker Carlson, he is under major attack from sleazy people who spread defamation. They call themselves Anti-Defamation League, but everything they say is opposite. But Brian is first-time caller in Tennessee first, and they have John in Canada who wants to talk about the water, fluoride in the water. But Brian in Tennessee, a first-time caller on these forced vaccinations. How are you doing, Brian? Thanks for calling.
I'm doing great, Hake. How are you?
Well, thank you.
All right. So, yeah, this is my first time calling. I've called Jesse before. This is my first time calling to the Hake Report.
Appreciate it. What an honor.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm calling today, though, because I've been in the military for like 10 years.
Okay.
Over this past year, I mean, things have just gotten so insane, especially with this whole, like, the whole COVID vaccine thing and everything.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And what I was specifically calling about was how they're trying to force service members to get this vaccine, and not just service members, but specifically healthcare workers and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Even outside and inside of the military. I have some family who does like dental work and things like that outside the military, and they have all been forced to take the vaccine. And I work in the health field in the military, and this is literally like they're pushing it onto you. And when I say that, I mean like specifically like people are being incentivized. Like they get days off, they get released from work early, they get to walk around without masks on at work. But if you don't get the vaccine, you get to stay the whole day at work. You have to go to these crazy town hall meetings where if they're so scared of COVID, right? They take 100 people who don't want to get the vaccine, throw them in a room, and then basically preach at them for like an hour about why you have to get the vaccine. What they're trying to do is educate us, is what they say. But in reality, they're trying to force us, right?
Yeah.
And it's gotten so bad to the point where now on the base where I'm at, they are literally making it to where if you want to go to the gym, you have to go in with a vaccine card now. And to me, this is insane because, of course, we're going to have soldiers who want to use the gym, want to get in shape and everything.
Right.
Or you want to do PT in the morning and stuff with your unit. Now you can't do that unless everybody in your unit or you individually have your COVID vaccine card. And that is absolutely insane.
That is.
And it's, and the crazy part is when you tell them, hey, what happens, you tell them you don't want to be a guinea pig, right?
Yep.
And you say, what happens if something happens to me? Well, the doctors have already told us, well, they put your name into a database, and then they use that to keep up with, like, I guess, almost like research, right? So, in other words, we're guinea pigs.
Yeah, a lot of help that does you, huh?
Right,
Database.
exactly. So what happens if I get the vaccine and then 10 years down the road, like something crazy happens? Like it's too late at that point. You know what I mean? And it's just irresponsible and it's crazy and we don't have to do it. That's the thing, right? We have the right to say no. I don't want it. I'm not taking it.
Yeah. You know what's funny too? The more they try to force you, the less one wants to take this stuff. It makes you not trust them. Because they're violating your rights. They're trying to force you. It's kind of like somebody who's a Christian trying to force you to be a Christian, or somebody who's all into flat Earth trying to make you a flat earther, or the Baltards trying to force the flat earthers or the moon landing deniers try to force them to believe something. It makes you resistant to want to believe them because they don't really believe in actual freedom.
Right, exactly. And when I think about this, I kind of think about, like, I make the joke and I'm like, well, my body, my choice. But the reality is let's pretend I was trying to hook up with somebody, right?
Yeah.
I'm not just going to sit there and force them into a room and tell them about how great it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm forcing them, it's like, great. They're basically trying to force us.
Yeah.
And it's just insane to me how they don't see this, or they don't see anything wrong with it.
Well, I'm sorry to hear this. I'm not surprised to hear it, though, honestly.
Right,
Buy some free weights, says Doom Jesus. You got free weights?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I actually have a whole home gym at home now, but yeah, it's crazy. And what's even crazier is when they initially offered the vaccine, we only had about like 25% of the people in our unit willing to take it.
Wow.
And through these incentives and through them pushing, they got us just above the 50% mark.
Yep.
But we're still sitting at a good percentage of people that just do not want it.
Yeah.
And
that's what I've heard. I've read that. I've read that 40% of Marines are not taking it. And there are various reasons, right? Sometimes they've already taken it outside, or they're waiting until other people who actually need it get it, because young, fit people are not really generally going to be suffering from this thing.
Exactly.
Nor are they going to encounter old folks, so they're not going to spread it to anybody else.
Right. No, that's exactly some of the arguments that we make. Is we're in the perfect demographic to survive this thing, right?
Right.
But for some reason, they keep trying to get us to take it, and then they say, well, you see patients, don't you? Or you work with other people, don't you? And it's like, yes, but the vast majority of the people we work with are still
fit
in great
people.
shape.
Yeah.
Fit people. If they do have any underlying conditions, I mean, that's, everybody has underlying, well, not everybody, but a lot of people do, but the vast majority are pretty healthy compared to the general populace, you know what I mean? So
yeah. I heard from a Ukrainian guy who used to work as a male nurse in the early or mid 2000s through like 2018 or so, basically kind of during the Obama administration. And every year as it went on, as a nurse and working in the hospitals, he didn't have to get a flu shot, but over the years they started forcing you to take the flu shot, and it's these women taking over, this female-minded control freak madness. It's not even based in common sense, trying to force people to get flu shots. And same thing with this, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that's what it is, and I think specifically in the military, what makes it difficult is that everybody in charge are the officers, right? They're commissioned officers, and of course they've been to college, they've been indoctrinated with all this
right
mentality.
Very true.
And right, and so they are all for it. They're basically bred by the colleges and everything else to be this way, and it's just insane. Yeah,
I noticed that with Trump's generals whom he appointed to be in charge of these different secretary of this or that in his cabinet. There's all these generals who look all manly, and then they turn out to be dumb liberals who backstab him and kiss up to Black Lives Matter.
Right.
James Mad Dog Mattis, total kiss up to the fake George Floyd victimhood thing. Granted, a lot of people were overreacting to it, but he's like pretending that these protests have any validity. What an evil person.
Right.
So,
and that kind of ties into the whole. I don't know if you saw the video of that one lieutenant guy. Oh, actually, no, you did see it. I know you did. You talked about it the other day. about the lieutenant guy who got pulled over. And did not cooperate. Yeah,
right.
I mean,
actually, I still haven't watched the video. I just read about it.
Oh, okay.
And I've been told about it because I just can't can't bring myself to be interested in another fake black or POC victimhood thing with regard to the police.
Right. No, and it's crazy, and it's what's funny is within like that very same day, I saw it spread around throughout like people in the military, and it's like, oh, look, this again, and I'm thinking to myself like, and I saw it, and I'm thinking to myself, this isn't difficult at all. This is easy to figure out. If you just follow directions, if you don't act weird about it, you be respectful, everything will be fine. But for some reason, that doesn't make sense to them.
Yeah, true. Well, thank you for the update, Brian. I wish you well. If what are you thinking? Are you going to quit? Are you going to stay on? Are you going to hold out? What are you going to do?
Well, they got me for a few years. I mean, they gave me a pretty solid bonus, so I'm in it for a few more years. But I'm already over like the halfway mark, so I might as well just stay until retirement. But if they really try to make me take that vaccine, I'm not taking it. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna have to get out.
There are ways to do it in a classy way that you don't bring unnecessary confrontation to yourself. I think there may be ways. I mean, people have come up with different things. Are you married? Do you have any kids?
Oh yeah. No, I have kids. I have a wife and everything. I have 3 kids. I've been married for like 7 years now.
Tell them you're trying to make another baby.
Nah, I already got the vasectomy, so I'm not having.
But
no more babies.
Do they know that?
Oh yeah, they're the ones who. Well, the Army paid for the surgery. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's brutal.
What?
Are you white?
Yeah. No, I'm actually Hispanic.
I
have one white baby though.
Okay, right. That's funny, man. Yeah. Well, we won't get into that this call, but I know so many people I know like 3, maybe 4. I know of 4 people who've gotten that done. I can't imagine wanting that, but.
Oh no, it's right. It's just, I don't know. It's just so expensive to make a living. And then being in the Army too, having to leave all the time, it doesn't fit really well with having family, I think. So
wow,
having a bigger family. 3 kids is a lot. So.
But 5 is even more.
Right.
And after a while, they start taking care of each other. I don't know, man. It's your life and your family. I wish you well, man. That's cool. It's good to hear from you.
All right, Hake. Well,
all right.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. And let me know how it goes.
Of course.
All right. Wow. I got to get to John in Canada. He wants to comment on the fluoride in the water. What's up, John? How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, fine, thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I just, I heard your comments there earlier about the fluoride business, and everybody's scared about what's happening with our water and stuff. Like, that was put in there to be a safeguard because everything has fluoride, and the government decided, they're going to clean the water. They can't exactly give you water back that's, because water naturally has minerals,
Yeah.
And fluoride has to do with building up your bones. I don't know if you remember, there was a scourge of the rickets in North America, and so they put fluoride in the water so that the population would be protected against rickets. Fast forward to 2021, and everybody's got conspiracy theories about this stuff. Come on, man. Like, think about what's happening.
Bless you.
Like, why is everything a conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Can't people think straight?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm with you.
It's fluoride. And then they talk to you about drinking water from a hose. Like,
oh, it's so good. Oh, my gosh. Nothing more satisfying.
Yeah, like if it's hot, you're not going to drink hot water, right? You're going to let it run out of the hose. And you know that, the hose has that black shit that comes out when you run it out. That's from the hose. You know not enough. You know enough not to drink that. You wait till it clears up, and then you drink it, right? That's it.
Right.
And everybody does that. But everybody's all, I read the comments, everybody goes nuts over fluoride.
Yeah.
Look up fluoride. Just to see what it is. It's a nutrient. It's a mineral that your body needs, and your bones are made out of minerals, right? Calcium, fluoride, a couple of other things. That's it. There's no conspiracy theory. It's not going to make you impotent. You know.
Right. Why? But it is
because we live in a republic. Remember republic? Remember that word republic?
Yeah.
That means they protect everybody, right? The poor. And
That's
the rich.
right.
That's why the rich get what the poor get, because it's a republic. Everybody gets protected.
Some people fear as Antichrist says fluoride is industrial waste. And somebody says that you're glowing, meaning like you're a Fed.
I'm what?
Glowing, as in you're a Fed, and you're putting out disinformation on my show. But no, I believe you.
Is, right?
I'm joking around a little bit.
There's so much in this information. They can't even think straight.
Right.
About what fluoride is. Buddy, look up fluoride.
Okay.
You know, fluoride is a mineral. It's a salt, right? It comes from salts. Your body is made up of minerals and salts and vitamins and carbohydrates and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they clean the water with all the crap in it. They could give you water that has nothing. But because you live in a republic and people are protected regardless of your wealth, right?
Well, to be honest,
they're giving to everybody, right?
The government has become less and less trustworthy.
Yeah, but this is a long-standing thing that can happen. You know? This has been happening since the World War, right? Since there was public dissipation of water, you know?
Yeah.
When people go nuts. They start thinking, the Nazis used it to make people sick and drowsy. Seriously? Something that builds up your bones and is good for your bones is to make you drowsy and sleepy and so they can take you over? Come on. Well,
I don't know. It's really hard to know. There is other stuff in the water, I'm told, that makes it also undesirable. Fluoride is a waste product, says Asmodor. They tricked us into paying them for it. Wow. What are you, John? Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Europe, a little island off the coast of Portugal called the Azores.
Okay.
You ever heard of those 9 islands over there? You guys?
I don't know. I don't know my geography real well. I may have heard of it.
Well, you know the coastal.
Near Ibiza?
No, Portugal. You know Portugal.
Oh, okay.
The first country when from your country to Europe, it's the first country you hit.
Okay.
And Russia's on the other side, right? So we're the first ones, and then Russia's on the other side. But before you get to the first country, you have an island. They're called the Azores. There's 9 islands there.
Way off, a little ways off the coast, right?
Yeah, well, about 200 miles, and the Americans have a base there.
Oh, cool.
Actually during the World War, the Americans had a base there to fly into Europe. They would base themselves there, and that would be because they couldn't make the trip. You know, there would be a refueling trip there.
Yeah.
And they would go into Europe to fight the war. So a little history there.
Cool.
But yeah. So this is what people have these crazy ideas. Is it easier to believe in nonfiction? Is that like nonfiction books are popular or something?
Yeah. I mean, so do you drink tap water, John?
Well, I used to. There's no need for me to drink tap water anymore. I have a little filter in case there's sediment in the water, and that's it. But I mean, I'm not overly worried about it.
Yeah, that's true. We shouldn't overly worry about it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if there's something in the water, you can you just buy some filters if you're worried about it.
Asmodor says salt is sodium chloride. You don't get fluoride from it. I don't know.
Mineral,
this
salt.
It's anyway. I appreciate the comfort with my drinking of tap water.
They know all these intricacies, but it's like being in the forest. And they can't see being in the forest. You can only see the trees. You can't see the forest. You know?
That's true. Yeah, very true. Right, it's good to hear from you, John. Thank you, man. Take care.
Take care, man.
All right. There was something else. Oh. Based AF, shout out, Based America First. Remember, he gave me a super chat to cover the cost of waterwithvincent.com. I still haven't done it. I was like, I got to do that. He's like, you don't have to. Totally up to you. Thank you, Based AF. Based America First. Right on. Waterwithvincent.com if you want clean water. Let me talk with Rob in New Jersey. He wants to comment on this Minnesota shooting. I got to get to this Tucker story, but I want to get to the calls. Rob in New Jersey, thank you for calling. What's up?
How's it going, James?
Going well. How about you?
Not too bad. Yeah, so I'm trying to understand it, right? She shot the guy thinking it was her taser.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's very possible because in the heat of the moment...
True. I agree.
People, yeah, anything's possible. Like the Derek Chauvin putting his knee on blah, blah, blah's neck.
Yeah.
You know, like, he wasn't, like, sitting there analyzing, like, oh, you know, all the blacks are going to want to take a piece of my skin and kill me.
Right.
You know, he was just being dumb, but I don't think he's guilty of anything. But going back to the
I agree.
shooting.
Yeah.
So her gun was in one side and the taser's in the other.
That's how it's supposed to be. Anyway, yeah.
Was that how it was with her?
I don't know the details. Yeah.
The only reason they're talking about it is if the guy was black.
Right.
If it was a white guy, it wouldn't even make the news.
I think you're probably right. It wouldn't make international or national headlines. There wouldn't be Antifa, BLM rioting and so-called protesting around the country and falsely smearing cops as racist. That's true.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have the exploitative politicians who need to go back and fix home first, saying it wasn't an accident, we need to get rid of policing and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right about that.
And she was Jewish, right?
That's what the chat was saying. I don't know. She might be.
So then technically she's not white. If she's Jewish people, they look white, but they're not white.
Right. They are white when they say, oh, my fellow whites, we are so racist. But then when they're a victim, they say, oh, I'm a Jewish person. You're discriminating against me because I'm Jewish. So yeah. It's kind of like white Hispanics. They're counted as white when they're perpetrators, but they're counted as Hispanics when they're victims.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
A bit different though, because I would say Jews play the victim card a lot more hardcore than Hispanics.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad, but yeah, they take up for all these people, and they're anything but. It's a shame. What a scam. Not good for anybody, really.
I wanted to also comment, man, that Norwegian Christian medal.
Yeah.
Is pretty awesome.
Cool. Appreciate it. I think so as well.
Yeah, I totally dig it, man. I mean, like, it reminds me of like King Diamond and like the all that black metal stuff, you know, like, which is I'm into that as well. But
nice. I'm not familiar, but yeah, it totally sounds like classic. You know, it sounds like something that has happened before with the, it just sounds like it's been around a long time with the way that they play it.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm happy with it. I came across it as a senior in high school.
I'm curious, are you of Scandinavian descent?
I might be. I know that I'm like a quarter Scottish, supposedly, if my grandmother is full Scottish. A quarter Danish if my other grandmother is full Danish. English, a little German, maybe a little Irish, American. Those are all the same.
Like Scandinavian, right?
I don't know if any of those are those Scandinavian? Danish? Is that close?
Danish should be the only Scandinavian country.
Okay.
The ones you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, they're all kind of the same thing.
Right.
They're not that different.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
There's like the really like tried and true blonde hair, blue eyed people, like the real Nordic people. But
yeah,
like German, English, Scottish, Danish. Those are like
all
exactly the same people.
Okay. Yeah, so very little Scandinavian in my blood. But a little, maybe.
I always thought Hake sounded, the last name Hake, I always thought that was like Scandinavian.
Oh, yeah. I'm told, my mother told me, and I don't know if she's lying to me or if she's misled to, you know, it's happened to Pocahontas before, right? But she told me that my last name on my father's, according to my father's side from a great-grandparent, should have been Rowe, R-O-W-E, rather than Hake. Hake was a great-grandfather's, his step-great-grandfather's name, and my grandpa kept the name, according to what my mother told me, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Far be it from me to smear the memories of my dead great-grandparents, but that's what... I think my grandpa on my dad's side is a bit of a mystery, which I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what Hake really is, nor do I know what really Rowe is, because my dad's dad is the biggest mystery of them all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, trace all that stuff, you know.
Right.
I was just always curious, like, what, you know, Hake, what is that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was always sort of interesting to me. Somebody said, oh, it's a fish, like whiting. Whiting? I think that's a hake.
I think I've heard of that as a fish, yeah.
And it's also, in Japanese, it's a brush, a hake brush. But I don't think I have any Japanese in me.
Did you say earlier that Jesse Lee Peterson's father was Canadian?
No, I said that he was liberal. Somebody got that confused as Canadian because this guy's dad was the guy from Canada who was calling me, Emmannuel. His father was liberal, and I said, he's Canadian. They can't help. Canadians can't help but be liberals, for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for the most part.
I was joking around with it, yeah. So.
Oh, okay. Misunderstood that.
Yeah. Well, nice to hear from you, Robert. Rob? I almost said Robert.
Yeah, Robert is the same thing. Yeah. Likewise, James.
We'll talk. Are you Hispanic or white or what?
I'm both. I'm white. I'm 100% European, but my ancestors moved to a Hispanic country, a Latin American country.
Oh, okay.
But I'm as white as you are.
Oh, okay. So do you speak Spanish too, or do people in your family speak Spanish?
Yeah, I speak Spanish. My grandfather had blue eyes. You know.
Yeah.
I consider myself white. I don't consider myself Hispanic because Hispanic could be a black person,
right?
Native American. That's in America. Yeah, they put a label on us. But
yeah.
I just see us as one race. As different races.
That's true. Yeah, I know some guys like you who were born in those countries. Colonizer, king. That's cool.
Yeah, we're descendants of colonizers, of course.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk, Rob.
Yep. All right, James.
All right. Good to hear from you.
Likewise. Take care.
You too. I got to get to Art in Ohio. He wants to get in on this Minnesota shooting. He was not believing this woman really mistook her gun for a taser. Art, how are you doing?
What's up with my man? Hake dog.
Doing well. Good to hear from you.
All right, so what's said she Jewish / she part of the Khazarian mafia allegedly with the so-called Jew.
Oh yeah, because you're a true Hebrew Israelite. Am I right?
You can go ahead and call me Alpha Tribe of Judah. You know. So my thing is this: what's up with the Africans over there in Minnesota talking about the kids were in danger at the protest? And it's like, well, why would y'all bring kids to a protest or a riot?
Yeah. In Russia, that's illegal. In Russia, that's illegal to bring kids to a protest.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a liberal area with not Minnesota. The cop was liberal. Dude who got himself killed was liberal. And the people who's out there, Africans, them ain't Negroes, man. A lot of them people up there, man, them is not Negroes. Them is Muslims. They have
Oh, yeah, that's
mixed
true.
with white and black and Africans and Aboriginal Negroes and Native Americans over here.
That's,
a whole
you make
bunch
an
of
interesting point.
mixture.
True.
And it's like they making me look bad, just like the rest of these liberal Negroes is, because the liberal Negroes follow along with that crowd up there, meaning the people that ain't really Negroes, the Africans. I know it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
When I say Negroes, I'm talking about the Negroes that came over here on the slave shit. I ain't talking about the ones who flew their asses over here on planes and came across borders. That's the difference.
Right.
So what's the problem with them always putting ugly females, fat, black, hair looking messy, you know what I mean? Cut your ends on your hair so it looks presentable. They don't know nothing about presentable. Then when you do put a female up there, that looks halfway decent, she turns out to be a dang old lesbian. You see what I'm saying? Everything's just so mixed and messed up or whatnot. And I'm sitting here trying to think. Yeah, they need to do something about that, man, because I don't appreciate them bringing kids up there, and then when the kid gets hurt or something like that, next thing I know, they got a GoFundMe set up.
Yeah. It's so
like
bad.
Down there, but think about it in Tennessee. You don't know if that was a setup. You know how these liberal blacks think. Oh, we're going to take these kids up here and we'll set something up, get them killed, and then we'll open up a GoFundMe. Man, I can see this stuff from a mile away, man. It don't take no genius to see the same with the how they laundering money and how they exploiting the deaths of kids.
Yeah. It's so sick. Now they bought 4 houses, that woman. Terrible.
Check this out. I don't know if you heard about the Fed up here in Ohio. They got it was a Fed up here in Columbus that was knocking on a female's door and didn't identify himself, and 2 CPD Columbus police pulled up on him and told him to get down. His Fed buck gonna say, well, I'm not gonna get on the ground. What you mean you ain't gonna get on the ground? Y'all don't even follow each other's own directions, but you want some Negroes and whites and everybody else to follow directions and think that America's held at a high standard when you, as the officials, don't even follow the chain of command or authority. God bless you, Hank. I'll catch you in a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Art. Appreciate that. And thanks for the tip on that story. I hadn't heard of that.
Yes, sir.
That was Columbus. That was Columbus in Columbus?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you,
I'll
Art.
catch you later, buddy.
All right, take care.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Wow. Lots of mess going on. Jib Jab gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Don't know what's going on, Stephen Will, but appreciate, it's the thought that counts, right? Appreciate your attempt to give a super chat. Ask Jib Jab for advice. He's over there on Twitch, maybe. Twitch.tv/the Hake Report. He says, Beta, play some Vaporwave in Sleepy Joe's tone. Come on, man. Vaporwave. Are you familiar? What's Vaporwave, Chris? Let's bring some expertise in.
Vaporwave, that's a good one. It's a fairly new niche kind of a genre of, I mean, I guess maybe to your ears, Hake, you would call it synthwave.
Okay.
It's in that vein, but it's very lo-fi. It has an aesthetic of very late 80s, early 90s kind of malls.
Okay.
Floppy disk.
Malls, like shopping malls?
Yeah, shopping malls. Like, yeah, I mean, it's the aesthetic is literally the age of your childhood. Going to the shopping mall in LA, and
you'd hear that stuff in the
background,
like in the elevator and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like
JCPenney.
elevator music combined with kind of like that synth wavy kind of a sound.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's pretty interesting actually. The music isn't very exciting.
Yeah.
But just the entirety of it all is interesting.
Creates a nice feel.
Yeah, the sound is kind of cool and interesting, but then you get the album artwork along with it. It's very kind of cool looking and
wow,
very postmodern, but not too like nihilistic.
But yeah, and still like pretty to listen to, I guess.
Yeah. It's a fun genre.
Okay. Thank you, Jib Jab, for the tip. And thank you to White Chris for the musical expertise. So, before I get back to callers, I have Zach in Columbus. Hope you can hang on a few minutes longer. Ramon coming up, and Stephanie in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the rest of you guys. Hang tight. Tucker warns, and you've heard about this. GLP has been talking about the same thing, and honestly, so did Ann Coulter in her book, Adios, America, that all of these, abortion and all these concerns will amount to nothing unless we get our immigration under control. And it's not just illegal immigration, it is legal immigration. President Trump was good at bringing down the number of refugees coming into our country, but Biden is spiking it back up again. There was a lady whom Caroline, a listener and caller and fan, tipped me off to Ann Corcoran, who was running Refugee Resettlement Watch before, I don't know which website, shut down her whole blog. Years worth of work. A blog called Refugee Resettlement Watch. Completely shut down. Anyway, Tucker Carlson talked about how the ruling class wants to replace you with a brand new electorate of compliant foreigners. And yeah, they all have a socialist mindset, including the so-called well-behaved Asians. They get this UCLA education, and they're brainwashing the Native Americans, of which I am a Native American. Chris is a Native American, born here, raised here, not to be confused with American Indians. To Americans. I have less political power because they're importing a brand new electorate, and that's what they're doing. They're allowed to vote. Their children become so-called anchor babies, birthright citizenship. Trump talked about getting rid of that before he was elected. Don't know if he tried while being president. I didn't hear anything about it after that. Some people held that against him. The Fox News CEO is responding to calls for Tucker Carlson to be fired because saying the truth like this sounds a lot like what the white nationalists are saying, and therefore it's evil and it's blah, blah, blah. They said Jews will not replace us because, there's a whole lot of Jewish people of power who are liberals who are doing this stuff. And so the people in Charlottesville, Virginia were saying that, chanting that. Not that there's Jewish people who are outnumbering whites, but they're bringing in all these other people who are outnumbering them. The Epoch Times reports Fox News CEO Lachlan Murdoch, one of Rupert's children, right? Adult children, said he will not fire the popular TV host Tucker Carlson amid a public spat with the so-called Anti-Defamation League, ADL, which they purport to protect Jewish people from defamation because we don't want another Holocaust to happen, right? Well, in practice, what they do is they call whites and Christians and true American patriots and nationalists evil. They call them hate. We fight hate with good. If you zoom in on they're in the upper left corner of that screenshot that Chris just showed you, it says, fighting hate for good. Well, they don't stand for anything good. Their guy, Jonathan Greenblatt. Well, hold on. A full review of the guest interview indicates that Mr. Carlson decried and rejected replacement theory. They call it white replacement theory. And it's what's happening, right? Anyway, Murdoch told the ADL in a letter, as Mr. Carlson himself stated during the guest interview, white replacement theory? No, this is a voting rights question. That's what Murdoch said. Lachlan Murdoch. Well, the ADL CEO, if you zoom in on the logo of the ADL, right underneath the ADL, it says replacing. It's kind of blurry. Jonathan Greenblatt is the CEO of the ADL. He told Rupert Murdoch, as a news organization with a responsibility to the public and as a corporation with a responsibility to its shareholders, Jonathan Greenblatt, he said that globalism, using the term globalists, is a anti-Semitic buzzword. Anyway, Jonathan Greenblatt says, Mr. Carlson's attempt to dismiss this theory while in the very next breath endorsing it under cover of a voting rights decision does not give him free license to invoke a white supremacist trope. Well, just because so-called white supremacists say it doesn't mean it's not true. Anyway, he's trying to get Tucker Carlson, the one man who's standing firm in a big, strong way, actually, he's very popular too. Get him taken out because basically he's telling the truth. Basically because he's telling the truth. But they cast it as hateful. It's ridiculous. And there are whites who get mad at this and shoot up places. It's happened rarely. But Tucker Carlson is standing on what's right, and he's done nothing but push for what's right and decency. But that's that. Trying to take out Tucker Carlson for telling the truth. Greenblatt is not an honest person. ADL are communists. Yep. Anyway, I got to get back to calls. Zach in Columbus, Ohio. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
I'm not going to take too long because I got to be back in the school in like 10 minutes.
I was thinking about that. Go for it.
But I saw this morning that the people that run Black Lives Matter, and I'm pretty sure I saw her interviewed on the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
Yep. Patrice Cullors?
She bought a whole bunch of houses.
Yeah.
In white suburban neighborhoods.
Yep.
It was like 4 houses or something, and I'm like, but you're supposed to be Black Lives Matter. You just used all their money to buy these $1 million houses.
Colonizing.
In white neighborhoods.
Yep. Invading.
Yep. She did absolutely nothing. And didn't she run? She got the chicken song.
Yeah, she got the chicken song. And she lied to me and said, I didn't hang up. But then later on Twitter, she says that she hung up after 10 minutes because it was Jesse Lee Peterson's show is violent and demeaning. Because he asked a straight question, do you support capitalism or not? And she wouldn't answer. She answered like a Marxist, like a trained Marxist.
Yep. I knew it was a question he asked or something, and then she hung up. But I thought she asked if she was a Marxist and she ran, but it was capitalist.
Right. Does she support capitalism or not? Because she was talking about, why did your parents have to work both jobs and multiple jobs, and how were you poor? And she's all, well, I grew up in a capitalist system that doesn't really look out for everybody, she said. Pathetic.
And now she's living in $1 million house.
Yep. Scumbag. Dirty woman.
She's a fake.
With her so-called wife.
Lesbian.
Yeah. Terrible.
And then, before I got to go in a second, but before I go back to school, when he was talking about the whole thing that's happening in Columbus, they're protesting in Columbus, and they tried to break into the headquarters.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Of the police in Columbus, Ohio? Police headquarters?
Yeah.
Why?
They tried to break into the police. I have no idea. Probably because of everything going on right now. But they tried to break into the police headquarters, and they had to pepper spray the people. And they're all upset about that.
Yeah.
You know how they get. But it's like you tried to break into the headquarters. So why are you upset?
Yeah, I've seen Antifa, that one of their missions is to burn down every police precinct. But January 6th is the real issue we need to be concerned about. That's the real insurrection. Give me a break.
All right, Hake, I got to go.
All right, good to hear from you, Zach. Appreciate you. Take care.
Yep.
One of her new homes has a private airport. Yeah, I heard it had a landing strip on the property. Shout out to Jay. Thank you for the tip. Doom Jesus says, private airport on the property. What a mess. Let me get to Ramon in San Jose, California. Yeah, respect the hustle.
Hello?
Hey, Ramon, good to hear from you.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm just calling about the fluoride stuff I was just hearing about.
Fluoride, yeah. You want to correct the record?
Yeah, the guy, the
John
guy that
from
called
Canada.
earlier,
Yeah.
he was all like, he's all like, oh, I don't know why they question stuff. Like, man, that's why we're in this position, because boomers like that just eat up what they're given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you look up a study in everybody, if you look up a study in Forbes, there was a study conducted in about fluoride, and it comes out that in fact by the age of 3 or 4, the kids that, like, say the mother's pregnant, she drinks fluoride. By the age of 3 or 4, they studied everybody, they did an IQ test, and they noticed that most of the people that did fluoride, the pregnant mothers, they actually had a significantly lower IQ.
Wow.
So I'm thinking it affects you more when your brain's developing, you know what I mean?
Do you think that's what's causing it, or was there something else that's causing it, or
I think
contributing
it is the
to
fluoride, because I trust, honestly, I don't know if you listen to Alex Jones, but he's been saying that it dumbs you down, and it makes you more susceptible. It makes you more susceptible to outside propaganda and stuff like that.
I am kind of dumb, and I do read CNN, so interesting.
So it's So in basic common sense, like, you know, it's supposedly fluoride is unanimously. You know how they put the doctors, all the dentists approve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's it called? You know, on the toothpaste it says
right.
FDA.
Yeah,
so it's all. You know, they put it just for there supposedly to strengthen our teeth and all that. And I'm all like,
but
why do they got to do it?
But most people don't drink tap water like I do, right?
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. It's mainly the poor people. So it's a way to depopulate the poor people, I think.
Wow, what a mess!
Because I grew up drinking out of the hose and sometimes and stuff like that.
The hose water is so satisfying. Oh my gosh!
On a hot day,
yeah.
Yeah, and then you know, you're drinking out the fountains. It's mainly the public water stuff.
Okay.
And so when they dump the stuff inside the pipelines.
Yeah, like water treatment.
The containers the fluoride comes in has like the little chemical skulls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
wow.
dangerous.
Really?
It's for sure. It's for sure. If you look up the ingredient itself, it is a dangerous. It is a dangerous ingredient.
Yeah.
But supposedly they don't put enough of it to make it dangerous.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so
we all know that the government does lie to us. I don't dispute that, for sure.
Yeah. So you know, we lived all our lives without fluoride, and now they want to mandate it. You know, and so it's like I said, he sounded like a older guy, a boomer generation, and you know that's why, because they don't, especially nowadays, like all the boomers, they just take what they see, and you know, they don't question a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, especially with all the news going on right now.
Right. They had their liberal reporters were better at playing undercover and pretending to not be far left liberals and communists.
Yeah. They call them the rubes.
Yeah. That's wild, man. I appreciate the call.
Right,
Thank you, Ramon.
That's all.
All right.
No
Take
problem.
care. I got to read a couple of super chats. I saw a couple of the super caps on trovo.live/the Hake Report come in. Lin Yen Chin says mandatory vaccination, and then I will get to Stephanie up next. Mandatory vaccination is unwanted penetration of moral and material bounds. It's rape in every sense. I don't want foreign matter forced into my body, nor to conform to society's insecurity about nothing. Based, Lin Yen Chin. Turtle No Neck says, I don't hate Jews, but is it right to tie Christians to Jews together, Judeo-Christian values, when Jews betrayed our Savior in Christianity, being a correction of Judaism? Interesting. I don't know, man. It's up to you. Check it out. I'm fine with JLP's reasoning, and I grew up. Most Christians grew up like that, where you respect Jews and Israel and all that stuff. But a whole lot of liberals, and even the conservatives, they didn't like Trump. What? Asmodor says, when people like Greenblatt, as in, what's that guy's name? Greenblatt, Jonathan Greenblatt, of the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, say that globalist is an anti-Semitic slur, which is defamation of people who use the term globalist, right? Isn't that sort of a confession about something? Yeah, that's kind of like saying that's central to the Semitic's identity, is to be globalism, trying to run the world or something. Does seem like an admission when he calls that anti-Semitic. Interesting point. Thank you, guys. Let me get to Stephanie in Raleigh, North Carolina. Stephanie, how are you doing? Oh, Steven,
yes. Steven.
Who put Stephanie? Was it my imagination? It was my imagination all this time?
Maybe the fluoride is turning me into a girl.
The fluoride is putting floaters in my vision, and I see an IE that isn't there. I'm sorry, man. Is it Steven? It is Steven?
Good. It's all good, man. It's funny. Now, let's see. A few things, I guess, if you don't mind.
Oh, good to hear from you, Steven. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Not too long, but
good to hear from you as well, brother. Yeah. Let's see. A few things, and maybe this is unnecessary, but earlier in Jesse's chat, there was a couple of ladies, I won't say their names, but they were being super anti-Semitic, and I just didn't like it. But that's just beside the point. We can move on from there.
Okay. Don't be anti-Semitic, guys. Not that that's real, but don't be nasty. Don't be nasty. That's the main thing.
That's all it is. They were just retarded. That's all.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of cringy when women get all into that stuff.
Right. They were definitely all into it. They were jumping on each other's bandwagon and having fun. But okay.
Maybe they're feds. They must be glowing, trying to subvert our chat.
It's freedom of speech. They can have fun with it. Why not? But, if they want to look like morons, that's up to them. But anyway, okay, the fluoride thing, let's see. All right. Okay, when it comes to infants and, toddlers, sure, fluoride is not good for that in their development of their brain, right?
Uh-huh.
But fluoride is part of the building blocks of the body. It's in our bones. You cannot avoid it. It's gonna get you. It's gonna get you, guys. It's coming to get you. So yeah, it's not. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. Even if you try to avoid it at all costs, it's in your body. So that's it.
But you don't want too much of it. It's kind of like oxygen.
No,
we need
not.
oxygen, but too much oxygen is gonna melt you. It'll age you.
Yeah. But it's just to get all bent out of shape about it, it's just not worth it. It's just, it's part of it's a mineral. Like the other caller touched on it very well. I can't even do it justice as well as the other caller did.
John from Canada, you agreed with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think about what Ramon said from San Jose, California?
Can you refresh my memory? I'm sorry.
He said
I was on hold, so
I forget what he said, but he said that it. What did he say? It's bad for kids, and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it's bad for when you're very young. It's very
and
bad
boomers just swallow everything that the government and establishment feeds them. That's a fact.
I mean, but really, it's unavoidable. And even if you never ever were around it in your whole life, it's still in your body. It's just part of the human development. It's just part of what makes up the But anyway, let's see. Where was I? I kind of losing my train of thought here, folks. Maybe that is the fluoride. But yeah, it's really.
Is it good or bad that it's in the water?
It's impossible to get it out of the water.
But didn't they put it in the water?
They might add more to it, but it's for dental health,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He said rickets. He said it fights rickets or something.
I'm not. I haven't read anything about that, and he
me neither. Right, I was trying to look it up. Didn't see anything.
But I mean,
softening or weakening of bones in children usually due to inadequate vitamin D. That's what rickets is.
Right, and I mean, imagine this. It's like I'm not drinking water with fluoride in it, but I'm going to brush my teeth that has fluoride. The toothpaste has fluoride in it.
Yeah, and after that, you're not supposed to drink water for a half hour at least.
Right. So it's just a mess to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I had something else I was going to touch on in regards to all this, but I'm going to go ahead and
well, I appreciate it. Yeah. Call me again, Stephen, when you think of it. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Take care.
All right. See you in the Sunday service throwback chat if you're able to make it for that on the Bond Rebuilding the Man channel.
I certainly will.
Nice.
And I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'm enjoying every minute of watching your show. I'm a big fan.
Nice. Appreciate you, Stephen. Take care.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Rick in Hampton, Virginia. I didn't get to him last time. Rick, we're in the last couple of minutes here. How are you doing?
James, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. Blasting my ears. Thank you.
Oh, well,
no, you're fine. You're fine. Don't talk too hard into the receiver.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Sounded good, though.
My wedding anniversary today, 15 years.
15 years, huh?
And yes, sir.
That's a second marriage, right?
Yes.
Not to rub it in.
No, you're fine. Oh, man.
Well, happy anniversary. Man. You have any kids by her?
You. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Well, I wish you guys 50 more.
Thank you. Appreciate that, James.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, too. Hey, you going to take the vaccine shot?
I don't think so. If I can help it, I won't. Although, honestly, I'm tough. If I can drink the fluoride water and the homeless waste water, then I can probably handle a vaccine. Although I'm not a fan of needles, and I'm not a fan of... I never take the flu shot, so I don't plan on it. And I don't plan on going to events where they require it, although they're probably going to try to infringe more and more.
No.
How about you? Are you going to take it?
Next question. I don't have no plans on either. I feel the same way you feel. Unless they try and make it where you can't work or travel.
I know, it's crazy.
I think they may try and do that. Like, you can't travel.
Control freaks.
Do California have that law in yet?
They're coming with it. Even if the states or the government don't do it, the evil corporations are going to try to run your life too. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Rick, I got to run. It's nice talking with you.
Oh, okay. No problem, James. Love you, man. Keep up the good work, brother.
All right. Take care. And happy anniversary. Hot Computer Smell with a super chat. Maze is a coward. She won't bother calling in because she has no adequate defense of these recent police encounters with blah blah and blank blank. Admit you're wrong, Maze. Time to eat crow. Nice. Thank you, Hot Computer Smell, for the streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. This has been The Hake Report. Bobby in Texas, who wants to talk about the Minnesota shooting. I cannot get to you. And the rest of the callers, call back tomorrow if you can. We have the Bond Sunday service throwback at 4 p.m. Pacific time today on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson audio podcast, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Thanks, guys. And take care.